like is of the city or whatever the case may be. But it has to be somebody that knows the community, that knows the area, knows the recruits, or has that kind of background
I feel you on
for it
that.
to pop off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that. Like I don't blame you on that for sure. You know what I'm saying? I clear, but what I would say is also like then you got people like say like just saying like what if I had somebody like Lincoln Riley that was just like, oh, I'm about to, you know what I'm saying, these niggas offer me to coach the VCU Rams, you know what I'm saying, like, or and build the team, build my staff. Like if you heard he was just being the coach of our team, you know what I'm saying, you will already be like, I'm expecting like this, not the first year to be like a whole bunch of glitz and glamour, but you expect like, oh yeah, this is real. Like we gonna be
Well,
a
I don't even
powerhouse
know if
for the
y'all would
years to
want that
come.
because if Lincoln Riley is at that point, you know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
a that
but
he
I'm
done
just
fell
saying,
off for real.
like name based, just name based. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, I was going
just
to say something like Bob Stoops. You know what I mean? Like
okay, you know,
obviously, like because he's been removed from college football for quite some time, but he's in the UFL. He's still around football, so like maybe somebody of that type of stature. But almost like to the point of this dude is in his 60s, nearing 70,
but you want
because I
somebody
don't
that
think
you
you
can
can bring a
still
young dude
sell.
to do it. I don't think a
I
young
would
dude could do it.
10 year. I would give the first regime of who's doing this. Like I said, 10 years. Look, we letting you know the first 10 years, bro. We building the foundation. I want y'all to, you know what I'm saying. Don't be thinking like just because you lose this season, you go have your jobs all written. Like it's not like that. It's gonna be a process. You know what I'm saying? It takes
Well,
time. What
well,
I'm
well, the other
saying,
the other problem is like if you're paying attention to where college football is going, you know what I mean?
It's
Like
paper,
me and
but
Raph talk about this all the time. Like we're heading towards AFC and NFC at this point. So at this point, I don't know if there's room or money out there for new programs to even come in and be
but we
successful.
so
Because
marketable, bro. Like the
oh, bro,
Rams is
I doubt
so.
it, bro.
You don't think we so
nobody
marketable
knows
enough?
about VCU outside of us, like on the
That's
East
because
Coast.
niggas don't be. That's because now, because we don't win shit no
No,
more.
no, like for example, right? For example, right? Let's say Gonzaga wanted to start a football program. You know what I mean? Like everybody would be like interested. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people would be interested just because Gonzaga still has name brand value. But you know what I mean? Looking at the state of Washington, you got Washington State and Washington already. Eastern Washington is a FCS power. So it's like, yo, there's only so much talent to go around.
Hmm.
Like you would just be making a football team just to say that you got a football team.
You don't think niggas wouldn't want to go there though?
Bro, niggas already got
No,
Alabama and Auburn. Like how, like just like with NFL and NBA teams, like what states really be having like more than two major Power Five programs?
So would you rather Virginia have an NFL team, an ABA team, or expand it
uh,
or
now
enhance the college programs
for me, since I'm not from Virginia, I would say an NBA team
over a football team?
over a football team because I think that you're already caught between Washington and Carolina. So where are the fans going to come from? Like outside
The
of
ones
like
who got tired of
true.
Washington and
Well,
Carolina.
well, well, no, you got you're gonna have your true diehard Virginia representers or whatever for sure. But you know what I mean? Like
Are people
Washington,
yearning
regardless
for another
of
team?
right, like Washington, regardless of how bad they have been, is one of the top 3 or 4 or 5 recognizable NFL teams out there. So as soon as Washington gets their stuff together and becomes good again, it'll be a wrap for whatever team is in Virginia. You know what I mean? And then you got Carolina on the other side. At the very least, they got the young Bryce Young that has a little bit of excitement or whatever the case may be. They got a bad owner. You know what I mean? But I don't know where Virginia like I don't know. Like cuz like if you're looking at like Virginia Tech since we were talking about them earlier, if you're looking at like Blacksburg, I would imagine people over there are probably Steeler fans or like, Brown fans or something along those lines that
Hmm.
they're not going to convert because they're far enough away from the main urban parts of Virginia that they
Hmm.
don't even have anything in common with those people first of all, so they probably hate y'all.
A week.
You know what I mean? So no, for real though. Like you know what I mean? Like so to try to like have them support the NFL team when there's teams probably closer to them, I don't know how that's going to work.
So you feel like
Especially if it's an East Coast team. I just feel like that would be cluttered. Like,
mm,
I mean, the New England area is already cluttered with teams, but it's like, or the Northeast, I should say, not the New England area, but the Northeast. But then it's just like right here, like you'll have Baltimore, DC, Virginia, Carolina, Falcons. There's probably a team in between
You
there.
still got Philly.
Philly, you know
You know
what
what I
I'm
mean?
saying?
Like so yeah, like that's why I feel like Virginia wouldn't work as far as that goes. Whereas with the NBA, the Wizards, they don't have the Washington conundrum as far as if the Wizards become good, people just gonna be like, so what?
bro, they should just blow it up and just
Yeah,
give us the
exactly.
wizard. Like I feel
Like
like us have the Wizards, but we have to relocate the stadium. We don't got no place to put it.
right, but that fell through now because the owner was looking at moving to Virginia, but that fell through now. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah,
so
yeah. Fuck it. Move the improve the Verizon Center. Make that be able to
or build
withstand
a new arena. Yeah.
a NBA
Oh, the
turnout.
Coliseum.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
The
redo the Coliseum, redo the Richmond Coliseum, bring the Wizards down to the Richmond Wizards. That's
that's
tough.
tough.
Richmond
Yeah,
Wizards,
for sure.
Let's see, is Richmond big enough to support an NBA team?
Fuck yeah,
bruh.
we'll be
Fuck
lit
it.
out that
What's up?
joint.
Fuck it.
We're more lit for VCU than UVA and Virginia Tech, bro. Like if
No,
VCU,
I know that, but I'm talking about like from like a market standpoint and all,
we would love
because
a
like right now,
we would probably love one.
well, right now, you got like Memphis and New Orleans as the smallest markets in the NBA or whatever. Like people are always trying to move those, well, at least New Orleans, trying to move New Orleans out of there or whatever. So like when you're looking around the NBA and you see, Philadelphia, Chicago, LA, you know, like is Richmond big enough on that grand of scale to be able to turn a successful or to make a successful NBA
We have
team?
history. We are people know what Richmond, Virginia
Richmond
is.
Braves, Richmond
No,
Braves.
I'm talking about like just if you was talking about, hey, do
No,
you
just
know
as a
what?
city. Yeah.
Do you know the importance of Richmond, Virginia? They're like, yeah, it's the capital of the Confederacy. You know what I'm saying?
It's a
Like,
tourist. It's a tourist land. It's a
Jeff,
so
Jeff
so
tourist
y'all would
land.
be
Davis.
y'all would be the MAGA team.
Oh my god, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
I mean,
mean? But
but I'm just saying though, like I feel like we wouldn't be like a small market team. I don't feel
We'll
like
be medium. We'll be
I
in the
don't feel like
medium.
we're a small city.
so like I was so like I said, me and Raph was talking about this at one time. So like I brought up Louisville, for example, right?
Mhm.
Um, Louisville's about 600,000 people, roughly, a little bit over that. And Kentucky is just a basketball state. You know what I mean? Like the
Mhm.
way, Kentucky, Louisville, all that stuff. And you could see a team being there, or like Indiana, with like Indiana's like a basketball state through and through.
Mhm.
So when I look at somewhere like Richmond, like as far as your Wizards idea, right? Why would I move from the nation's capital to go to Richmond?
Mm.
Think about it, right?
Okay.
Like think about the California Angels, right? They did the whole rebrand of like we're the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles or whatever, just because they wanted that Los Angeles piece added to their name or whatever, even though they're still like 40 miles away from LA. You know
Right.
what I mean? They're still trying to get a piece of that pie. So like, why would I move from DC to Richmond?
Now, speaking of relocation, I'm glad you actually brought this up because I found this video. And you already know I got videos for days. But I heard this about the Vegas A's, right? The A's have moved from Oakland to Vegas, right? The Athletics.
Yeah, yeah, it's coming. I think 2027 is supposed to be their first year.
Now, let me play this for you and make it. Can you answer some questions about this?
Hello, hello, hello. It's Vegas Paul VC, and this is the Tropicana Las Vegas, which, as you know, is coming down. And now the new baseball team out here, the Las Vegas Athletics, is requesting the ability to play 7 games elsewhere. So instead of playing 82 games at home, they want the ability to play only 75 games at home. And Steve Hill, who is the chairman of the Stadium Authority, is not really happy about that. He's less than thrilled with the request. He says that the bond capacity will be limited by how many home games the A's are approved to play outside Las Vegas. And he wants to make sure that there is a reasonable cap on the number of games that they can play elsewhere. He says he is protecting Las Vegas against losing revenue on the bond and not being able to pay it. If you think about it, it's $2.6 to $3 million a year in actual taxes that will disappear if they don't play these 7 games here. And it is a $380 million bond. No one is really sure why they are requesting to play 7 games elsewhere, so many games, but right now they are in negotiation on the relocation agreement. It's kind of unusual in that most teams' relocation agreement has at most 3 games played elsewhere. Vegas, Paulie, C.
Did that make any sense to you, 2-5?
Not at all. I mean, the whole point of having a sports team, especially a professional team, is to turn a profit.
Right.
And where would those games be? You know what I mean? First of all, that's the first question. Where would these extra games be? Second of all, what's the purpose of it? I mean, you don't need to build a brand because, to some degree, like Vegas is your brand.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you don't need to go outside. Like, so if I was in, say, Sacramento, maybe I want to play a few games in San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like right up the
Just to
road or
branch out or
whatever.
whatever.
And, bigger fan base. Obviously, like for the purposes of baseball, you're never going to supplant the Giants. But maybe I just want to play in that region to build myself around the state or whatever. Or like maybe if I'm in, Baltimore, if there were no Washington Nationals, maybe I would play a few games in DC.
Yeah.
But like I don't understand where Vegas would even want to play these games or why. Like you're not going to go to LA.
Why would you? Because from what I was reading through the comments, they were saying like it will be like neutral sites, like things
I
like
just I
that.
just don't see the purpose of it.
So it's like I understand like maybe you want to, just like you said, expand to and bring the game closer to other Vegas or Oakland fans who might be caught in the middle or whatever. But it's still like to me it just sounded like they were willing to sabotage the taxpayer funding or the revenue for the city or whatever to benefit the team, because they still gonna sell tickets regardless of wherever they go.
Well, that's kind of the problem though, is because if you look around, if MLB wanted to do something similar to what the NFL is doing as far as the NFL playing all these games in London and in Berlin and all these places like that. If MLB wanted to be like, hey, we're going to play games in Vancouver and we're going to play games in, Saskatchewan or whatever, then like
Right.
I can understand that being like, yo, this is a new franchise for all intents and purposes because I don't know how many Oakland fans are going to remain fans of the team once they move.
Right.
So if you wanted to expand that way and just be like, I want to have a bigger reach. Maybe I would play a few games in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines. But to just willingly give up 7 home games, like that don't even make sense for the owner.
Right. So
So I
yeah.
don't know unless they know something we don't know.
Right. So before we get into preview of this before we get into the preview of this finals appearance of these finals games, do you play Madden? Do you play any EA games?
I try not to, but yeah, I play Madden every so often.
I just have to get this off my chest. Madden comes out every August on a yearly basis.
Mm-hmm.
So if my calculations are correct, we just passed in August and we're about to have another August.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So on a year-to-year basis, there is rarely ever a drastic change in Madden gameplay. right?
Hmm.
Except for like when like the hit stick was revolutionary.
Right.
You know what
Which
I'm
is
saying?
why
In
I've been
Madden
telling people to
'05.
stop buying that shit and make them make a
You know
better
what I'm
game.
saying?
But whatever.
But eventually, Madden basically turned into us paying $65 for a roster update, right?
Oh, this is Madden
Right.
running.
So
Oh,
my whole thing about this is we know that Tiburon and EA Sports, they had like a licensing agreement that was like they were the only people allowed to make like the football games or like
Hmm.
the likeness and images and stuff like that, blah blah blah. So now that agreement I think is either coming to an end and they're not going to renew it or whatever the cases may be. The chokehold that EA Sports has had on the football image and this stuff, the licensing, the NFL licensing is over. So they came at us with the college football game, and I feel like it's still going to be a lose-lose situation because if this game is going to be so revolutionary, if this game is going to be so good, we just had a Madden come out in August. We about to have another Madden come out in August. What
what's the
what have
difference?
y'all been doing the last 10 years that y'all feel like now all of a sudden y'all ready to introduce hundreds of things that we haven't seen in a EA Sports football game in years now?
Well,
Because if they lose the license, you got competition again.
but
Bro.
not even that. The
So
college,
now they proving it that they have been holding back on niggas.
but see, that's what I'm saying. College, college had with college 25 coming. It's done by the whole people that made this is totally different people from EA itself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
These are whole new brand people that took over this game and actually created to what it's supposed to be like against Madden in general.
Right.
So that's why I was sitting here telling like, bro, this is about to be so different for the whole world far as what we looking at how we play football in general because these niggas know what we are looking for when we want to play a football game, especially with the new details. Like I have took a little peek into the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like just a little preview of what's to come on the joint. You know what I'm saying? Like the big thing that I'm like, damn, I really got to get this game is the fact that these niggas got wear and tear on your players' bodies. And that joint say so. Say you win in your dynasty mode and you building your squad and you taking your program, your school, like game after game. Say you have your running back one game, you know what I'm saying? He literally toted the rock 30 times, you know what I'm saying? He got banged up pretty bad. That carries over into the next game and it
Hmm.
shows on the screen like yo like this nigga in the red now, like I don't think you should have this nigga in the game, you know what I'm saying? Crowd noise is real, like it's so much shit that we've been asking for from Madden to put into their game that this they it's like bro, this is it.
Well,
This
this
is
is the
like
thing.
legitly it.
Well, I think the difference is that with this game, they had to literally build it from scratch, like
And that's what I like.
from their ground roots. So they
Yeah,
had room to do all this. You know what I mean? And they had 10 years or whatever. Like you know what I mean? Like the last game was 2013. So they've had time to do these things. But in addition to that, college football has changed so much that we as fans was just going to be demanding
a
that
game.
type of game. Yeah,
Just a yeah, just a
we got the
game.
playoffs now, and now it's a 12
Mhm.
team playoff. Whereas the last game was still on the BCS.
The NIL deals is a
Yeah, the
real thing
NIL
on
deal. Yeah,
like it's actually in the game. Like the
yes,
fact that you know what I'm saying you can recruit, the fact you have a two-star nigga turn him out to be like a top nation nigga, you could go back and forth. Like it's so much shit this shit has to offer, bro, because it's
it
real.
does.
Like I feel like it's more real.
Whereas with Madden, not a lot changes year to year in the NFL outside of rule changes.
Yeah.
So like like this year we got the new kickoff rule and all that. So like, but outside of that, the structure of football in the NFL remains the same. So there's not much to change outside of trying to be creative and think outside the box of what
But
can we
bring back,
do?
they shouldn't have took like that's my thing with Madden. That's always been my
The
beef
my
with Madden,
apartment.
bro.
What's up with
The
that
the,
shit?
the 2006 to 2007 era, what we had with the my our franchise player, we talking about they took away mini camp, training camp, you know what I'm
The mini
saying? The
games.
mini games itself. We talking about they took away the DNA, they took away like movie scripts. Like it was shit that you literally had to do as a
But we don't know
player.
why though. Were those things getting negative reviews? Were
Because
those
I feel
things?
like because as niggas was getting older, like niggas was like I felt like maybe the younger generation, not our generation, but the younger as they were playing the game and had to, they felt like, oh, this is too much. This is
Well,
too
yeah,
much.
most people play online now. Like
Yeah.
it's just like NBA 2K, right? Like a couple years ago, this was probably 2020 or 2021. They had this. I think they were trying to reinvent the LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade draft. So they had the three dudes that everybody was tanking to try to get. Like one was like a 7 footer that could shoot like dirt. One was like a 6'10" Lamar Odom, but LeBron, dominating type player. One was a point guard that was like Ja Morant early. You know what I mean? And it was fun under my GM and all that. But then what they did was they basically got rid of my GM to the point where now on like all the newer 2Ks, you have to do all these little tasks just to be able to play the games on my GM. Like it'll
Mhm.
simulate your games and you got to go through all this stuff to earn points to be able to play the game. So like all these newer kids and everybody else, they don't make the games for us anymore. You know what I mean? Because we're not, or at least me, my age group, probably we aren't the type that are going to sit around and waste 3 months to build a player up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And buy VC to be able to,
Hate that
go
shit.
to the rec and all that
I
kind
hate
of stuff. Like,
I hate that. I like the
yeah,
like I play traditional, so it's like I if
yeah,
I
I'm
do my
still caught
my
up in the 80s. Give me a team and
yeah,
we going to go win the championship.
we gonna go through, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what
Yeah,
I
but
do, you know
everybody
what
else
I'm saying?
doesn't play like that. Everybody else goes online. They go through the rec. They go through
And
the
that's
park.
why college football is about to be college football 25 is about to be the most revolutionary game far as football game to drop
But this
since
is
we
the
had
question. But this is the question. How's it
ESPN,
once we?
since we had the go ahead,
I
go
don't
ahead.
want to. I don't want to fast forward per se.
Mm.
That's going to be awesome. But then what they going to do next year?
What you mean, bro? I feel like that
They
joke
gonna
is.
give you the
I
same
I
foundation.
think with I feel like with that they probably what they'll do is instead of dropping another game, this is where the DLC start coming in, where it's not like they have to sell another game because it'll be pointless. What you do
No.
is you'll
Go ahead.
just
Go ahead.
you'll give us the DLCs like the update, like they'll update the rosters for us as time go on, you know what I'm saying? And if they add anything else in there, like the extra sprinkles, they'll just throw it in. It'll be an update. Niggas wait for the update to complete, and then boom, we back. Like treat it like it's Grand Theft. Like
But
instead
this
of
is the
having to
problem
drop
though.
another one, just
But
keep
this but
updating
this
it
is
if you have to.
but this is the problem though. You know what I'm saying? Like if I know that a bunch of dumbass people are going to pay $60 to $90
Just
for a
make the
new
DLC
Ferrari,
the same price. I just make the
why?
DLC.
But I'm just saying like you're going to do something because people are going to be like if the game comes out this year and it's fire like we all expect it to be, you know what I mean?
It should
And
last you for it's that game should last you this game should last you for another like at least 2 years. If we
it
talk about,
should.
you know what I'm saying, if we
It
talk
gotta be cheaper to not produce a whole game than it is to produce like just like a software update or like you said DLCs that they could still charge us.
to get,
It might be cheaper as far as the production side of it, but am I bringing in money? So
I
like
don't,
I'm
If you
spending
charge
less
more,
yeah,
money,
you
yeah,
still
but
for
gonna
am
sure.
I
you
bringing
still
in
charge for
money?
DLC.
Yeah, because you for some people you'll look at it like, well, I don't have to get the I don't have to get the update right now. Like far as like I don't have to get the new DLC because to like they'll give you a description like maybe like you spend like maybe like $25 on You know what I'm saying? The updated rosters, and then if it has some special shit coming included in the DLC,
And you ain't
you know,
even really
so
got to do that either because like there's dudes out here that are creating that shit that you can just download.
exactly. You know
You
what
know
I'm
what I mean?
saying? So it's like
That's why
right.
they make a new game. You know what I
But
mean? That's
I
why.
feel but I feel like with this game in particular, I feel like it's gonna be set like how GTA was, where we didn't really have to. They didn't have to create another one for a good little while because you was able to. And it's not like it's unfinished. Like it's a
Right,
perfectly
right.
finished product. But you know, like we said, at least we would want a newer roster next year. You know, what I'm saying newer kids or have it where all you have to do is download the new DLC to update to it. So we don't have to buy another whole new game. Because I'm gonna be pissed if I have to buy the next year joint and I just got that one. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm expecting this one to last me
Nah, bro. It's a year to year basis, bro.
I feel what you
It's
mean.
always
Like
been.
it has, but
Yeah,
then
just like on Madden, right? Like to your point about Madden,
but Matic
like
changed
why
so
is the
much.
draft why is the draft and free agency still the same? You know what I
Because
mean? Like
because they never took the time to improve that shit on a year to year. But they had it right back then. Like that's why I was so mad at Madden as we transitioned to the newer years. It was just like, bro, y'all took away what I enjoyed about playing
well
Madden.
like that's how I am with NBA 2K because like for example, I got the new 2K is out. So, if I wanted to, and granted these are like fans doing it or whatever. But there's people out here that are creating the 2024 NBA draft class that I could download or like 25. So I
Mhm.
could just go in order and I can go back to like the 80s and
80s,
get
yeah,
Jordan
yeah,
and
for
all of
sure,
them,
for
whatever.
sure.
But in Madden, if I remember correctly, when I played 24, I was able to start my first season and I could download the draft class for this year. But then
Yeah.
after that, you go back to the generic players again. And
Mhm.
so that's where
Because you got to read
Madden,
out, you got to keep re-downloading somebody's
yeah,
files.
and that's where Madden keeps their foot on your neck because they're going to give you the authentic, real deal players. Whereas on 2K, like somebody then already created all the people for you, and now you can edit them to make them whatever you want them or think they should be, But you
Mhm.
can keep it continuous where you're going into the future with Carmelo's kid and the Boozer's kids. Madden, you get that 1 year of
And then
this
yeah,
is the
then you got to
current
read,
draft, and then you
yeah.
back at then you're back.
But
So
see, I
people
never
that want
liked
the
the Madden
authenticity are
draft.
gonna pay for it.
That's why I never liked the Like I hated how Madden draft was with the newer ones, because the older ones you at least actually can score on some good players. Like some, like it wasn't always like now. It's like, bro, it's rare that you sit here and draft you a nigga that's higher than a 75. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm picking a player, you know what I'm saying, and the computers always get like these best players for some odd reason or whatever.
Right.
And I used to try to give myself draft picks, so I would trade away like my seventh and fifth for somebody's first round pick. You know what I'm saying, just so I can have a better shot at
And
snapping the
and
so
that's
far
why
best
Madden
player.
wasn't fun because all I had to do was go draft a wide receiver with 94 speed, and it didn't matter
we
what it don't matter what round I got him in. You know what I mean? It don't matter what school he went to. You know
right.
what I mean? Like I just pick him up and here we go. I can go trade. You know, I can go trade. T Higgins and add this. 92 speed receiver
We
and it's going to be the same production. You know what I mean? Whereas like with the
Mhm.
college football, at least, you know what I mean? Like as freshmen, even if they are fast like that or whatever, they have certain
Yeah, they got a
limitations. Like
learning, they got a real learning curve. Like that's why I'm like so intrigued with this shit. Like, bro,
yeah,
every move that you make really does matter. Madden used to be like that. Like all your moves really did matter. The more they kept taking away from it and making it more arcade style and
yep.
try to revolutionize it to like on the 2K level, it's never been the same. And then when they added this whole park shit with NFL, it's like I don't even play that shit, bro. It's not
Yeah, just
you.
like where's NBA Live at?
Live used to be sweet. Like no cap, live used to be sweet. NFL Street was my shit when it was out. You know what I'm saying? When we
No,
had,
no, my absolute favorite was that NFL 2K5. That was my favorite.
yeah, I feel you on that.
Under
Now,
the helmet.
now the best football game I ever played though, outside of like Madden and NCAA, is Blitz the League, bro.
See, I never got into those games.
Bro, Blitz the League is the one where like you can like break a nigga bone. It'll show you breaking a nigga bone. You know what I'm saying? It was you could juice your nigga up on steroid on the sidelines, like put that nigga back in the game. You can start a brawl in the middle of the field. Niggas be out there bitch fight. Like, bro, it is and the story play, like you can have your own character, right? And he goes through a legit story. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cut scenes, be real, nigga, you know, like it was like a game when we talk about football violence, like that was the and you were a GM, you could be a GM of your team. You can make every decision you make matters on the foot on the field. Like yo, nigga will go through a cut scene with one of your best players. Say he had a concussion last game.
Yeah.
It'll be a cut scene with you talking to the player, and it'll be little options that you choose, like you know what I'm saying, or what you want to say, response, whatever. And like some of the shits will be like, get him to take some steroids right now. He'll be able to play the game. Like dead ass, bro. Like these are shit that I used to be like, bro, this is sweet. Like,
Yeah, I still got a dynasty on NCAA 14 that I'm playing right now on
wow.
the PS3. I'm still playing that.
Wow. If I
You know what I
could
mean?
get my PS2 back popping, bro, I would grab
Because
NCAA '07 and start my dynasty with
I don't know if y'all
LSU.
saw the NC. I don't know if y'all saw the NCAA revamped, but that's what I've been playing. Like these
Oh, you
dudes,
talk
like
about the joint that people been doing on like they little video clips on about because I've been trying to figure
yeah,
out who
like
that's the
yeah,
revamped
that's what I
one.
played. Yeah, that's what I played. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Like you
Okay.
just go
Okay.
to
Do
the
you like it?
website. Yeah, I mean they changed all the uniforms, they updated the stadiums, they added the teams that got added over the years, like Coastal Carolina and people like that weren't in the game. So so it's
Do you like
fun.
the
It
gameplay
made
of it?
yeah, they even added. Yeah, I love it. They even added new playbooks and or new plays. So
I need to check that out.
so it made it fresh. Now, obviously, now that I know the new game is
New
coming
thing
out,
coming out.
it's
Yeah.
like but you know what I
Well, you
mean?
already know 2-5. You gotta get the real look down. This the real legit
Yeah,
joint, man.
yeah, this the
You
real
know what I'm
legit
saying?
joint. You know what I mean? Everything I've been hearing about it so far is just like it
It's
almost sounds
what
too
you
good
want
to
it
be
to
true.
be. That's
Yeah,
what
it almost
and
sounds too
that's
good to
how
be true.
yeah, because it's like everything that we expect to be in a football game, they're giving it to us. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, I never say here thought they was even gonna bring back college football. I used to wonder, like, are they gonna bring it back? Like, I doubt it, but are they ever gonna bring it back? But this is legit though. Like, this is
Yeah.
this and the fact that the players got their names on it. We don't even
That
have to because back then you could switch it to names, but it'll give you like just random, like generate random names.
I think Cups was against it since Arch ain't gonna be in it.
Hey, look,
Oh, come
bro,
on,
Bill
They
man.
Belichick wasn't even in none of the madness, bro. I'm not
they
really
they won't
tripping on
even
that.
let
Yeah,
you
like Bill
they
was
won't even let
never
you they won't
for
even let
sure.
you create Arch Manning. They got it like blocked to where you can't even create them.
You
For
can't
real.
like you can't create a player and put Arch Manning on there and they'll
Yeah,
block
you
it.
can't. Yeah, they block it. Yeah, from what I
So
was reading.
what if I spell Manning
I
without
mean, yeah, you could probably do something like that, but
the
it just
extra
won't
N?
be. It just won't be the real. It just won't be the real deal. You know what I mean? But I'm hopeful we get college basketball back too, but I doubt it because
Yes, I used
those
to
games
play
weren't
college
making any money.
basketball. That joint, I think, was it March? Was it March
Yeah, they
Mad? It
had
was
March Madness. Yep.
Madness. Yeah, it was March Madness that I was playing back then. That joint, the Dynasty mode on there was I fuck with heavy because I had
Yeah, I was
Georgia
a big
Tech.
2K8. I still play 2K8 on my PS3
Really,
because that's the last 2K college basketball game. And then March Madness 10 is the last one with Blake Griffin on the cover.
word,
You know
word.
what I mean? So
Yeah,
but people have done little things with that too, where you can update the rosters to like the current day rosters and everything, but the gameplay and all that is still the same for that one.
was was
You know?
was 10 the one with was March Madness 10 with the one with John Wall still in there? Because I was playing the one with John Wall was still
Yes,
on Kentucky, if I'm not
yes,
mistaken.
yeah, because the year before was it had
Derek Favors
yep,
was on Georgia Tech at the
Georgia Tech,
time.
yeah, because the
Yeah,
year
yeah,
before
bro.
that it had Kevin Love was on the cover.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, Juva, that joint, March Madness, bro, that joint was sweet, bro. I did fuck with that joint back
But that's
then.
how it was weird because the college games were to me were always better than like March Madness was better than live at a point,
Right.
and
Because
you know what I
I
mean?
felt like the commentating was even better. Like, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
the
Because you get
presentation, all that.
right, you get the ESPN, you get the Gus,
But I
you
think
either
I
get
heard that
Gus
ESPN is going to be on the new
on
football
this
game.
one. No, I don't think so. But they did say that we are getting, I think it's 6 different commentators.
Yeah,
Um, each one every far as matchup
we've
base
been long overdue for a college football game with the
for so
CBS little
long.
theme song. Like you
Hell
know what I
yeah,
mean?
for
Like
sure.
we've been missing so much. But but yo, Cups, we looking at 1-1 or we looking at 2-0?
Woo! Talk to him, man. What we doing?
I told y'all mid-season. Actually, I told y'all when we got him. Kristaps Porzingis is going to be the reason that this Boston Celtics team is different from every other team in the NBA. When healthy, when playing, Kristaps Porzingis is going to be the difference in every ball game. And I said during the playoffs, whoever beat us, y'all better get us now, because once we get KP back in the game, we're not losing no more games. We not losing no more games.
Woo!
Oh, you talking about break the broom out?
We not losing no more games.
Oh,
Hey, look, I'll say this.
woo!
I'll say this. He was right about the KP joint. When KP got in the game, bro, like, cause he ain't start, but when he got in the game, bro, difference maker immediately. Like immediately, difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
Gave him 18 quick. 18 quick. Like I was like, God damn, KP. You know what I'm saying? So like, and
No,
Tatum
straight
out,
up.
I was surprised. Like Tatum ain't really, he didn't have to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like we sit here and say like
He
Tatum gotta
don't.
like he don't have to do nothing, but you
You
know what I'm
saw the
saying?
thing I posted. Like they're like 5-0 when he scores less than 20 or something like that in the
It's
playoffs.
weird. It's weird like that, and it's kind. That's a weird, like you know, what I'm saying thing to have a stat line to be under. But it's like, bro, if I'm the best player on the squad, and like I still don't have to, you know, what I'm saying exert myself all the time, every game,
But
bro.
see, but now I think that reopens the discussion. Is he the best player or is he the most talented?
I would still make it the best player because look, I look at they haven't been we haven't seen them like this was last one's game one, game two could be totally different. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? He
right,
might have to
right,
step up and might have to take the load, you know what I'm saying, regardless of how it
right.
feel, or he just might have to step up in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking for. Is once he get in that situation, how's he gonna act? Is he gonna step it up when he need to, or does the team gotta get him out the funk type
I
shit?
got
You know.
I got my eye on Luca because like he either has a built-in excuse or he trying to be the hero.
Ooh,
You
that's
know,
tough.
because they talking about he questionable and he got this injury and all this kind of stuff. So it's like he comes out and scores 35, and it's like, look at this hero gutting it out and
A week
tying up the series.
For
Or if
sure.
they lose, it's gonna be
I'm not
well. I
trying to
mean, he
hear
didn't
none of
really
that shit,
choke.
bro.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that's why, like on my show the other day, same thing for Tatum. That was the first thing that I said is that because when we were on here the other night, Adam and them was talking about like, yo, you gotta let him grow. Jordan ain't win until year 9 or whatever. LeBron ain't. No, fuck all that. You gotta win now, bro. It's over. Like
So is
you
it
ain't gr-
so
you
Luca
ain't
is
growing no
more
more.
so we put Luca in there as part of now you gotta win now, like you know what
No,
I'm
no, no. I'm
saying?
talking about Tatum.
Oh,
No,
for
no. As far
Tatum.
as as far
Okay.
as Luca goes, um,
It's not gonna hurt him if he
I
loses this
think
joint.
yeah, I think that we know that Boston is the better team. You know what I mean? And that Dallas shouldn't win this series. Like I feel like I don't have any proof. I didn't do any surveys or anything, but I feel like most people that pick Dallas to win are just looking at it as like, look at
House
what
money.
Luca's doing, and they going back to 2016 to what Kyrie did.
House money.
You
They
know,
playing with more, they
it
playing with the house
yeah,
money.
it has nothing to do with this Dallas team right here, right now, because Dallas doesn't have anything in the front court, that can match up with Boston. Like PJ Washington, I talked about how they need him to be the number 3 guy, and he's just not. Derek
Yeah.
Jones, if you get 12 points from Derek Jones, that's a good night.
They need a
You know what I
big
mean?
man. They
They're
need a
not
big
playing
man.
Hardaway. They're not playing Hardaway hardly. Lively can only score off of putbacks and alley oops. Gafford is pretty much a net zero because they're up against somebody their own size now or whatever. So like there's no reason to, in my eyes, there's no reason to pick Dallas to win this series unless you just want Dallas to win.
Yeah.
The only way Dallas wins
Only
this
way Dallas
series
wins is if somebody gets hurt.
if somebody on Boston gets
Is if
hurt.
we
Yeah,
beat ourselves.
yeah, and that, and if Boston gets into one of these 9 for 40 3-point
But
games,
what if
and
they still play? What if they still play their best ball? You know what I'm saying? But it'll be just like,
Sometimes the rock just don't be falling, bro.
yeah,
I
feel
think
true
I
that.
think that I think that if both teams play to the top of their abilities,
Boston will still come out on top.
Boston should win by double digits. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I think that for Dallas to win, Dallas not only has to play their A game, but Boston needs to fall to a C. Because like when I look at Dallas, like me and you had the argument about Kyrie a couple of weeks ago. So when I look at Dallas, Dallas needs 30 from Kyrie and Luca every night.
Every game. Yeah, that's what I
You
was
know what I'm
saying. They
saying?
have to they have to put together at least 60 between them in order to keep this
Right, but
play
still, you
this on
still
you.
got to get another 40 from somewhere. And where does that come from?
You will hope that 40 comes from 4 people out the 10 and give you 10 out them 4 people
But that's what I'm
to get
saying.
you
So
the
like
40.
PJ,
So
so on a good night, PJ could give you 15 to 18, right? Um, Lively can get you 8. Gafford can get you somewhere between 6 and 8, maybe, and then you're tapped out after that. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, so now I need Luca to go for 40, or I need Kyrie to go for 40, and Luca. So now I need y'all to get me 70 instead of 60,
mm,
but I need y'all to do that 4 times.
I
You
feel
know what
what
I
you
mean?
mean.
You could
I
do it
feel it.
once. You might could do it twice. You know what I'm saying? But they need what we saw Kyrie and LeBron. Both of them scored 41
Well,
in
yeah,
that
for
game
sure.
5 or whatever against Golden State. We
Mhm.
need that at least twice just to start the conversation.
Is that a tall task for the Mavs
Yes,
right now?
yes, because if Luca is hurt, because I don't want to be that guy that's like, I mean, I know I made the comment I made earlier, but I don't want to be that guy. I'm not in his body. I don't know what he's feeling. You know what I mean? So if he's hurt, how much is too much to expand tonight? To get a win on the road. You know what I
You would need
mean?
more. You would need more Kyrie than you need Luca tonight.
Right. And with Kyrie, like I think Boston, I made the comment last night in our chat. I think this is Kobe, this is Kyrie, this is Kobe against the Pistons, where if Derek White can't get it done, I'ma switch Drew on you. If Drew can't get it done, I'm gonna put
Mhm.
Brown. Somebody gonna stop you.
Now,
You know
can
what I'm
you
saying?
see Luca turning into a facilitator, 15 assist kind of person if he is
He
that hurt?
better because he only had 1 assist the other night,
Mm.
so he better. You know
So
what I
you
mean?
think? Do
But
you think that was the reason that's part of the reason I feel like Luca got to average a triple double for these niggas to
no,
win.
I feel like game one they didn't have a game plan. I feel like they literally came out and just said, "Let's see what happens." That's the way it looked to me. Like, let's just see what happens. Now, granted, Kyrie missed some easy shots that you don't expect him to miss again.
Yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? But the problem is that people like Derek Jones and PJ Washington, they weren't playing their role. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not your job to try to go over Porzingis. You know what I mean? Like, kick that out, somebody's open. Or you get out there and be open. Let Kyrie and Luca get down here,
The
and you take
moment
your
was too
position.
big for them.
And then
Yeah,
you
they
got
tried to do
guys
too
like
much.
Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard can pop off a 10 on their own. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm saying, and that's the problem because I think I brought this up when before game one. When they played Minnesota, it was like we got to slow down Ant. You know what I mean? Nobody else. We don't think anybody else can beat us unless Cat gets hot. But
Hmm.
Ant is where it starts. Ant is where it stops. When they played OKC, it was like, hey, can we keep SGA under 30? because I don't know if anybody else could get 20.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Boston, we've seen it already. Tatum don't got to have the best game, and Jalen Brown can step it up. Porzingis did what he did. So tonight, if you adjust and say hypothetically you take Porzingis out of it, now Tatum can kill you, or now Drew can kill you. Derek White can hit 3 or 4 threes timely. Al Horford can hit a couple of threes in a timely manner. So they don't even got to score 30. They just have to hit the momentum shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's what Dallas can't keep up with. And that's where your Tim Hardaway's come in if he's going to, because he's still not getting, he didn't get much time in game one, until the game was over. So Tim Hardaway is one of the few dudes on Dallas's roster that if he's on outside of Luka and Kyrie, he's the one that can keep up with Boston's shooting.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean? I would like to see more Dante Exum, just from the standpoint of defense and having another ball handler that can spell Luka and Kyrie from having to dribble for, 15 seconds of every shot clock.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said about the Mavs, can we sit here and say that the Mavs should not be in the finals? It should have been the Wolves based off a
No,
matchup.
I'm not
no,
saying that.
no, not at
Hmm.
all. Like Dallas earned it. You know what I mean? You can't take that away from them.
Well, I'm
You
saying
know,
like based off of just matchup. If you want to base it off a matchup, like
no, because I think Minnesota would be in the same boat. You know what I'm
really,
saying? But the problem is that Minnesota doesn't have the second guy. So like you know what I mean? Like because Dallas has
That would have
Luka
been an
and
even worse
Kyrie.
game.
do you think
Yeah,
so?
I think so,
yeah.
bro.
Like I think Minnesota would be able to. It depends. It depends. Like Raph brought up a really good point the other day as far as when Minnesota played Denver.
Hmm.
Part of the reason why Minnesota was able to win that series is because in the early part of that series, the refs were allowing Minnesota to be physical and knock Jamal Murray around and like for lack of better words, like play on the playground, if you will. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Whereas like against Luca, they call that tic tac stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you can't play that same roughhouse way because Luca's going to get free throws out of it because for whatever reason, the refs are going to give him the calls that they weren't giving certain teams. So when you playing against Boston, what would help Minnesota is the rebounding. Because they got Nas
They
Reed,
got but I said they got
Jaden
the
McDaniels.
right. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's
yeah, but offensively it would be the same problem, except for it's just Anthony Edwards.
because you don't feel like their role players, their 3-point shooters as they would be is not as reliable as
Yeah,
with the
because like,
Mavs.
because like we saw it against Dallas. Game one, I think it was. Jaden Daniels came out, went like 7 for 9 from three.
With
Then it was
fatigue,
like game
with
three, Nas
fatigue,
Reed had a game
you
like
don't
that.
think fatigue, but you don't think fatigue caught up to them during that start of that series with
I
Dallas.
absolutely think it did. I absolutely think it did.
So
But
does that
but at
not
the
play a
same
factor?
time, the thing that doomed Minnesota was it wasn't the fatigue, it was they couldn't execute in the later parts of the game. Like, when it was like 3 minutes and below on the clock, Minnesota just couldn't like they were having Ant do too much as far as being the ball handler, trying to be the facilitator, and hey, you need to take over the game too. And he's a young dude. So as talented as he is, that moment might have been too
A
much for
little
him
too
too
much,
soon.
I feel.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? Whereas with Boston, um, who you like if you're
Anybody can get it. Anybody
anybody
can
can
get
kill
it.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
anybody can kill you. Like if
For sure.
Tatum ain't like late down the stretch, if Tatum ain't scoring, Brown going to do it. If Brown ain't going to do it, Derek White will hit the game winner. Drew will get a timely steal or a rebound. Horford will get a block. Porzingis is 7'3". So you don't really have anybody on Boston to where defensively I can go during crunch time. We want the ball in his hand because they can all kill you.
Yeah. And now, and not to sound pessimistic against the Mavericks. I mean, I feel like if we play like we play game one, you know what I'm saying. But that's is 7 games in the series. You know what I'm
Right, right,
saying.
right, right, right,
So
right.
it's
I don't
like,
think
I
it's going to be
mean,
a sweep, but yeah, yeah.
I
They get one. You think they get one?
I think they
Four
get.
one.
I picked it in 6 originally. But even when I made that pick, I had followed it up with I could see it in 5 because I want to give Dallas a game just off of the respect that I got for Kyrie, and
Mhm.
like him and Luca, like one of them, has to like have a game. You know what I mean? At some point. So I just out of respect, you know what I mean? I'll give them a game. But I mentioned it the other night. Like whenever Dallas does win a game in this series, it's going to be like a 3 to 5 point win that they just executed better late. Whenever
Mhm.
Boston wins, I could see it being like the other night where they win by
They
15.
just they just blow them out early, and then it
Yeah,
just
because they're just
what
the
I'm
better
saying.
team.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I
So I
But
mean that's just
would
the way
that
I
not
see it.
make the finals? Like that's why we saying like far as views and what we watch.
bro.
Like
They just said what it is, bro. We played what was in front of us,
I
bro.
know I'm saying like far as like
The views come
the
down to
view.
streaming.
That's what I'm saying. Like true, but I'm saying like far as like when we talk about for the league sake, you know what I'm saying? I don't really give a fuck too much of it, but just saying like if they look at it be like, damn, like say Boston go out here and sweep them. Just saying, say y'all go out here and swept them, or y'all just beat them in game 5. Could y'all sit here and been like, man, that was a nice finals to watch. Like that was a good finals. Or you'll be sitting here like, uh, I'm just
It
waiting
just
for next year. You know what I'm
I
saying? I
think it
want
just depends on how it happens. Because I mean,
mm,
like I still think that Minnesota and Dallas was a good series. Because the first 3 games of that series, even though Dallas went up 3-0, they won those 3 games by a combined 13 points. So it was still good basketball. It was still entertaining. It still came down to the wire. One team just made the plays in crunch time, and the other didn't. You know what I mean? So if Dallas can keep this competitive, because like I look back at the finals when LeBron went to the finals against the Spurs the first time when he was in Cleveland. It was a sweep, but Cleveland literally had a chance to win every game in that series, but won. Like it went down to the wire. They just couldn't finish. So like even though it was a sweep, it was still a close series.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But if you just look at it as 4-0, 4-1, you're like, yo, this ain't competitive. But if you're
you're
watching the
right.
actual individual games, it could be. You know what I
Would you
mean? And
rather the finals always in game 7, or would you want it
I
to
mean,
be
yeah,
like
as a sports fan, absolutely, you want 7 games or at least 6. Like think about how much more epic, right? Like think about this for a second. We remember Michael Jordan with the push off on Byron Russell, and the steal on Karl Malone, the play prior to win that 6th championship. You know what I mean? But let's just hypothetically say Michael Jordan missed that shot. We
hmm,
got game 7, Bulls on the road at Utah. So now we got Michael Jordan in a position of he had never had a game 7 in the finals before. You know what I mean? Like now you're on
something
the
like
road.
yeah, like
You know what I mean?
something that actually like that's more like the more the hype, the more the entertainment. Like that's how I
Right,
look at it. Like
right.
what narrative is coming out of this? You know what I'm
And
saying?
imagine the Jazz win that game 7.
That's all.
You know what
And
I
we
mean?
be
Like
sitting here talking
LeBron
about he's
fans
the
would have
man
a
of the
field
finals.
day.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I'm saying?
sure.
Like just like or like even the year they played Phoenix. Game 6 at Phoenix, game 7 would have been in Phoenix. John Paxson hit the shot to win by 1. If John Paxson misses that shot, you got Jordan in a game 7 on the road. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, yeah, you always prefer 7, but at the same time, we've seen series like Golden State and Cleveland where, um,
Niggas go down 3
Cleveland
0.
Cleveland will win game 1 by 22, Golden State will win game 2 by 21, and it's like, yeah, we going 7, but this shit ain't fun.
Hmm. I feel you. So yeah, bro. I don't know if we're gonna bring the brooms out. I don't know if I'm opposed to it, but I just want to see us hoist a trophy. That's really it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, especially Kristaps Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's
Honestly,
due
I
now
just
for us
want
to
this
come
series
time.
to end because I want to see who's gonna get Finals MVP. That's all I'm here for.
I mean, does Jalen only have with him having 16 in game 1 and Porzingis being like, I feel like he was the main star of it. I know everybody know how like Jalen,
I don't
you know,
know.
what I'm
Jalen
saying,
Brown had the 4 blocks
he
or
had the
whatever it was. He
yeah.
had
Does that
the big
ruin his
moments.
chance? But that like did game 1 ruin? Tatum's
No,
chance to be the Finals MVP?
no, no,
Okay.
because it was only one game. You know what I mean? If he comes out and averages 27, 9, and 7 for the rest of the series, he's got room to make that up. Because I don't think you can count on like. So this is the problem, right? Nobody on Dallas can stop Porzingis,
For
but
sure.
but percentages say he's probably not going to shoot the way that he shot in game one for the whole
I
series.
don't know, bro.
You know
That
what I mean?
man been waiting to get back on the court. He
No,
probably
I
got
know,
some.
I know, I
He like,
know.
man, shit. I'm about to start getting. I'm hot now. Like, you know
Well,
what I'm
see,
saying?
like, so go back to the Warriors beating Cleveland the first time, the year that Kyrie and Kevin Love was hurt. Everybody said that Steph Curry choked in the finals, and that was part of the reason why Iguodala got the Finals MVP. I don't think he choked. I think that for the rest of the playoffs, he was shooting 60% or whatever it was. So when you get to the finals, your numbers, like if you're a 45% shooter on the season, you shoot 60% for the playoffs, you gotta come back down. That's just what the law of averages says. So he didn't choke. He just played to his percentages. You know what I mean? Whereas like if he would have shot like, I don't know, let's say he would have shot 41%, for the rest of the playoffs, but then shot 55% for the finals, we would have said he stepped up in the finals. You know what I mean? So like the averages just play out the way that they do.
So you think he
And
purposely fucked up his average? That's what you're saying?
no, 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 no. I'm just saying that
Oh,
you shoot the basketball enough, they're going to stop falling if they're not if they are falling, and they're going to stop falling if they're not. Like that's just
oh,
how
yeah, yeah, yeah,
basketball
yeah,
works. Like
yeah, for
just like
sure,
I
for
said
sure.
about Kyrie, right? Like you could
Mhm.
give Kyrie the same shots tonight that he had in game one. I
He
think he
probably
went like
buried.
6 for 19 or something like that. If
Yeah.
if he gets those same exact shots tonight, he probably goes 13 of 19. And nothing really changed except for the ball went in the hoop. Like Cups remembers like when Doc Rivers was Boston's coach, he used to say that it's a make or miss league.
Is that weird though? Like you could sit here and be like, you just have a night where like shit just like you probably in warm ups and shit you hitting, and then
Yeah,
as soon as tip off, you know what I'm saying? Ain't shit going in.
that happens to us. That happens to us regular dudes.
We
You know what I'm saying? Like when we're at the Y or whatever. Like you know what I mean? Like you come out feeling good, and then you get in the game, you missing layups. Like it happens. Like I mean,
yeah,
Shaq didn't shoot 100% from the floor. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you know what I
For sure.
mean? Like
I feel it. I feel it.
so like I think sometimes we just overthink it, and we just want to be able to have these terms like yo he choked or he didn't step up and sometimes you just got to look at the rhythm of the games because there was one game where Dellavedova defended Steph Curry really well, and then he damn near died and had to go get on IVs and shit. You know what I mean? But if you look at the rest of the series, Steph was pretty much Steph. Like, but the media had already created that narrative of look at what Dellavedova did. He's the Curry stopper. So I think we as a basketball community just adopted, yo, Steph choked.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So Tatum has more than enough room. Just like 2018, the second year that Cleveland lost to Golden State when they had KD. Steph Curry and KD were neck and neck for Finals MVP in that series. But then
Mhm.
in Game Three, Steph went 4 for 14. It was that one game that separated it and gave KD the Finals MVP.
That's crazy how that something like that will separate you from an MVP.
Because they were both great otherwise. The rest of the games of the series, they were both great. But that was the one game that one of them didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? So if Tatum, so I mean, if Brown has I don't know, let's say 10 for, or let's say 8 for 23 game, then Tatum creeps right back up in there.
So can you see this if we pull off this championship? Can you see this entire Celtics team running it back with the same roster next year?
They got to.
With some like tweaks, like you
I
know what I'm
mean, yeah, you
saying?
got to look at the roster and see who's coming due and all that stuff like that. But I mean, like Al Horford is he just turned 38 or 39 the other day. So, so maybe he retires or
Mhm.
maybe you move him for a younger piece if he still wants to play. He got his ring, now you move on. Maybe if like depending on how you feel about things, maybe You
And we
trade
only
like
gonna get better.
like Hauser's only going to get better. Pritchard is still growing.
Mhm.
So you don't need to do a whole lot. You know what I
How you
mean?
like this?
And we can't go, man,
Like
bro. I
Milwaukee,
bet you we're gonna
Milwaukee,
upgrade with Al Horford. I
That's
bet
what I'm
you.
saying. Al Horford
Milwaukee
for
is the team that
for Brandon
Milwaukee's the
Ingram.
team.
That's what I'm saying.
Milwaukee's the one that needs to make the moves.
For what
Mhm.
though?
They got to get rid of. I ain't gonna say get rid of to make it sound negative, but Brooke Lopez is about to be 36. You got Bobby Portis. Middleton's been hurt. More than not the last couple of years. You still got Pat Connaughton, so maybe you upgrade him. You know, uh, Pat Beverly suspended to start next year, and after the dumb shit he did, you probably don't want him on your roster anyway.
For sure.
So Milwaukee, like I saw the thing you put, I think it was Cups that put it in there where the Knicks might look at Carl Anthony Towns, and I was just
Yeah.
like, for what? For what? Like you're getting Julius Randle back for what? Like
Come on, bro.
if
They the
anything, you
same
could
guy.
trade Julius Randle and probably get something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like what does Carl Anthony Towns give you that Julius Randle doesn't?
Right. They the same dude.
And you at least got and with Randle, you at least got chemistry already.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
man.
that's where like for me right now as we sit here today, obviously a lot changes between now and next season. But as I sit here today, Boston and the Knicks are the two teams in the East that don't need anything. They can just run it back as is.
For sure.
Like maybe Orlando, just because they're so young that you're like, hey, we took our lumps, we learned, let's just run it back. But even I would think Orlando would want to get a shooter in there or, something like that.
Right. Yeah, man. Cause they gotta help my dog Paulo, man. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
you already know it's approaching game time. I don't want to have us dragging out here too much longer, man. We appreciate everybody who came through the smoke. We don't reach that 1
I
hour
did, I do,
mark.
I did want to ask you something though. One last question.
Yes, not for sure.
Uh,
Please, too far.
since we're in that same vein of what we're already talking about, and I'll just ask the question and let y'all do it. But I just brought up Milwaukee. I just brought up Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the teams in the East, because I think we're pretty much in alignment that Boston should keep it as close to what it is as it is. Um, what teams in the East do you think are either like a move away from challenging Boston, or what teams do you think like y'all had a nice run? Now it's time to break it up.
Cleveland needs to break it up. Indiana, I feel like, is probably like a move away from at least giving these niggas a legit run for y'all money.
And I mean, and they did. Even in the sweep, they did.
Even when the sweep, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they one move away from really like giving y'all a good little real run. You know what I'm saying? And then I feel like Cleveland should just blow it up.
First answer, Philly. Second answer,
Yeah.
Miami needs to blow it up.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Philly next. That was going to be Miami definitely. It seems like Jimmy Butler might be on his way out. Like all the stuff he's been doing.
He going back.
If
He going back to
if
the
Philly had
Sixers.
an upgrade, if Philly had a functioning Tobias Harris, they probably would have won the series.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that like just going off of like what we've heard and seen, how do you think Paul George would work with Philly?
He's better than Tobias Harris.
He'll at least give you for sure 18 to 20.
Does that challenge Boston though? Like if bringing in Paul George, does that challenge
He a
Boston?
better defender.
Tyrese Maxey is just good, bro.
What if Philly got Jimmy Butler?
I like Jimmy Butler more than I like Paul George on Philly. I don't know.
I mean, he did. He was He was with Philly at first, so it's not like at first, but he was with Philly before, so it's not like he don't know how. And he was balling with them. You know what I'm saying? Like everywhere that Jimmy goes, he balls. It's not like he don't be balling. You know what I'm saying? But
he don't bring that edge
for sure.
All right, last question. What do you do if you're the Nuggets?
Get your bench situated. Rebuild your bench.
Because I heard some people saying that they should trade Michael Porter, but I don't think they should.
I mean, like I said, I mean, I would look maybe, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong to retool, but don't break up the main core. You know what I'm saying? Your main core is Jamal and Jokic right now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? As the main two. Then after that is just like, you know what I'm saying? Tweak
You
it.
got Aaron Gordon. Yeah, you got Aaron
Yeah, Aaron
Gordon.
That's
Gordon, for
basically
Yeah.
sure.
that's just predicated
You know what I'm
on it though.
saying? So like they got they three. You know what I'm saying? Now you just need to find you another man that can average 15 to 20 points. Got a three ball that's more reliable than Mr. Porter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So if you're OKC, do you run it back or do you try to bring in at least one more piece?
of course, one more. You need somebody to take some pressure off of Shea and Chet.
Because
Like,
I know throughout the season I've heard people say that they would like to see OKC make a move for Laurie Markkinen and putting him next to Chet, could give you, I guess, and I'm over exaggerating somewhat, but it gives you like a younger version of Horford and Porzingis in some ways.
No, bro, I
So,
like that though. I really do.
but I don't know if they need to make a move that big. Like I don't
what
know if
about
they're that.
Man,
Bam?
Lowry could put that bitch on the
What
floor.
about Bam? You send Bam down there to OKC.
If Bam was like 6'10", I would probably like it. But you know what I mean? Like I don't know if he's big enough. Pause. You know what I mean? Because
Yo.
because we saw what Jokic did to him in the finals.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So like I don't know. Like that's tough. And then you got to deal with if Minnesota doesn't trade Cat. You got Cat and Gobert still.
Would you rather
Dallas.
have Gobert over Cat?
Yes, because I haven't seen anything from Cat in the playoffs since he's been on that team. Like he is just not a playoff player, and he like Gobert at the very least gives you a presence.
I say at least he's consistent. Whatever he is, he's consistent.
Consistent
Yeah,
to what?
like Cat. Well, Cat is just a big disappointment. Like I don't expect Gobert to come out and score 24 points.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So like if I can get rebounds from Gobert, if I can get timely blocks or like just good positioning, I'll take that. You know what I mean? Whereas with Cat, if his 3-point shot isn't falling, he's worthless.
Because he don't want to be the big. He don't want to play
Yeah,
big
he don't
man,
want to be the big man. He don't get as many blocks as you would think for his size. You
which is
know,
weird.
he can't laterally defend anybody. So let's say I'm OKC and Cups is like, yo, I love that Laurie Markkinen idea. So like if I'm playing against OKC and I got Cat, who he gonna guard? You gonna have him chasing around Laurie? You gonna have him on Chet? Like either way, it's a mismatch.
Hmm.
Can't put because you can't put him in the paint. Just send him in the paint.
Right. So you know what I mean? So what do you do with Cat? Like OKC would probably just eat him alive in that series. We already saw what Dallas did to him.
Yeah.
So, he didn't really have a great series against Denver either. Like, Nas Reed just stepped up in that series
Does
offensively and
Cat need to
defensively.
go to a team like Dallas?
Yes. Like Cat needs to probably have honestly, like I would probably like to see Cat. I know this would never happen, but going off of teams that we've just been talking about, I wouldn't mind seeing Cat in Cleveland.
Hmm.
Put him next to Mobley. You know, you bring back Donovan Mitchell. You know what I mean? And well, really, I mean, the Cavs need something on the wing. They need a wing scorer.
Yeah.
So Cat doesn't really provide that. But if you're going to lose Jared Allen, I figure Cat would be a good replacement size wise and adding a new element to your offense.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really think about no good fit for Cat except for like someplace like you said like Dallas, like somewhere where you have to hide him. You know what I'm saying? Like where he would just be the icing on the cake, like a Porzingis is the icing on our cake. Like I can't see no
Right.
team where you insert him and he would have to play a major role, and y'all are a successful team.
What about Atlanta?
Right.
If you
Yeah,
ship him
if
to
you could
Atlanta,
trade him for Trey Young, I could see that.
does he die in Atlanta?
No, I mean him and Dejounte Murray, like I think that could, at the very least be worth a look. I don't know if it'll work,
Mm.
but it could be at least worth a look. Especially if, Atlanta has
Man, young to
the number one
Minnesota.
pick in they have the number one
Ooh,
pick in the draft right now too. So you can draft your future big man to where Cat can still play the four. Grab that
and
dude Sar.
that'd be tough. Young in Minnesota, that'd be tough because now you got you another person that can give you 24. You know what I'm saying, and can facilitate an upgrade over Mike Conley.
The only problem is it goes back to that same question: who does he guard? If you're playing OKC, who does Trae Young guard? He can't guard Jamal Murray probably. So that's where you get into you got to have those specialists on your roster. Whereas Minnesota does have Jaden McDaniels at
But you
least,
got
and
You got Mike Conley. Conley could go back to the bench and just
yeah,
and
yeah,
be a, you know what I'm saying. So and he could be the role player that you'll put
yeah,
in, you know what I'm saying, to play that defensive role
one
and
hundred
stuff.
percent,
So
one hundred
so
percent.
like we can make that work, you know what I'm saying?
But I don't know. Like, there's not really. I don't know. Like, I don't know if
That'd be
Cat
sweet.
works it. Maybe Cat would even work somewhere like Memphis. You know,
We
with Ja
don't talk
Morant,
about
Jaren
Memphis
Jackson.
at all. Ja Morant be out, like we don't talk about Morant no more.
Well, he hurt. He been hurt all year. So but they got the number 9 pick in the draft. So we'll see what they do. Maybe they move that pick for somebody, and just kind of because they don't. I don't think they need a rookie. They just probably need to get another veteran presence in there because they picked up Cups is, Cups is the number
Yeah,
one
our
fan of Marcus
decoy.
Smart.
You know what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying?
Mhm.
saying? So they got Marcus Smart to back up Ja or play next to him if you want, I guess.
Send Jimmy down to Memphis.
Well,
You do not want to run with them young bucks.
Shit, he'll get them young bucks in the playoffs
I
and
mean
get
they'll
them to
get to the
place.
playoffs anyway, but you know what I
But
mean?
they but like actually do some. I feel like Jimmy be a good asset, bro.
And then you got Cat. I mean, Cat is just a tough. Like, imagine Cat in Golden State.
That's possible.
You know what I mean? That could work.
To replace Draymond, that would be tough.
Get them another shoot. That's another shooter for them, but a big shooter that because that's not something that they've really had. In their besides Durant in their iterations over the years is like that 6'10" dude that can stretch the floor or whatever.
So Clay's
Clay's probably
retiring.
gone. No, I think he goes to another team. Like if I was Milwaukee, I would look at Clay. Or if I was Orlando, maybe if Clay was willing to be like a 6-man type, like play the Jamal Crawford minutes, like close out the game and everything, but just come off the bench. Like that could be an upgrade for Orlando that wins them if they were to play like Cleveland again, wins them that series. So like there's ways to get around it, but a lot of these teams, like, what are the Lakers going to do? Like, is Danny Hurley going to be their head coach? And
Mm.
if he is, what does that do to their roster?
I thought JJ Redick was already
That's what they've
confirmed
been saying.
that he was
But
the
but
coach
but they saying the Lakers are willing to offer 8 years, 100 M's
to just anybody.
to Hurley.
Oh, because I'm about to say
And
I'll take that real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I mean? And they said that Anthony Davis wants Borrego. He wants Borrego as the head coach. So you know what I mean? I don't know if there's a struggle there.
what is
Whereas,
LeBron trying? What is LeBron doing?
well, according to the reports I read today, and take it with a grain of salt, it says that LeBron was basically like, don't make a decision for LeBron James. Make a decision for Anthony Davis in the next 10 years.
Yeah, that makes
You know
sense.
what I
I mean, of
mean? Just
course. I mean,
you know what I mean?
obviously,
I mean, I don't
we-
believe LeBron said that, but you know what I mean?
but yeah, but even still, like that's more smarter, duh. But of course, LeBron ain't gonna be playing to when he 50 years old. We don't
But
assume
there's
that.
also rumors. There's also rumors that Detroit could fire Monty Williams, and if that happens, then the Lakers can look at him.
Wasn't Detroit bad this year?
Yeah, and they gave him 62 million too, so they
So
better
why
not
would you
fire
bring?
him.
Why would you bring it? But I'm saying though, why would you bring in a nigga that was just on a bad team?
Well, I mean, he's also like what 3, 4 years removed from taking a team to the NBA Finals.
Mhm.
That's a long time.
And he knows how to manage personalities. He had to deal with Devin Booker. He's coached CP3 twice. So he can deal with personalities at the
Was
very
this his
least.
first year at Detroit?
Yeah, this was his first year. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they got the
Explanation.
new GM in. They brought in Trajan Langdon as the GM. So there's rumors that because they already got rid of their head of basketball operations. So they might be cleaning the house over there, and because Detroit, that's the last thing Detroit need. Detroit doesn't need another draft pick. They got enough of those. Like,
Hell yeah.
Detroit needs either a vet or just give their pick away for a later pick or something for like in a few years or something.
A week.
Yeah, bro. Cause I don't know, bro. Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey. You know what I'm saying? What? Don't they got Obi over there? No, not Obi.
No, they don't got Sadiq Bey either. Why you sitting up here calling rosters from 3 years ago?
Where's Sadiq at?
Sadiq in Atlanta.
Yeah, see, look.
Yeah, but they do have they got Kay Cunningham. They did pick up Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, Ivy. Yeah.
Yeah, they did get they ended up trading for James Wiseman at one point. They got Jalen Duran. So like they just drafted Asar Thompson this year, Ahmed's twin brother. So they got enough, young players and rookies. Like
Hmm.
now it's time to, maybe you could like maybe Cat could go somewhere like that.
Mm. And turned up Detroit.
Yeah, turn up Detroit or like like something like that. You know, yeah, I don't know. Like these teams are just going to be bad. The Wizards, like I don't see
Shout
an
out to
end in
Denny.
sight. I don't see an end in sight for some of these teams.
Hmm.
Denny Avdia is the future, bro. That's not Kuzma
He
team.
is.
That's Denny team.
And I don't know if you've been seeing these videos, but it looked like my guy Koulibaly going through his Giannis transformation right now.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? My man came in the league Bumblebee. He about to be Optimus Prime.
come
Hmm.
on, bro. Straight
Hmm.
off the rip. So
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
man.
So, but
Uh,
yeah, game two,
You already know. Give it to us. 2-5.
What you
Game
got?
two.
What you got?
Boston by 11.
Woo!
I think Kyrie plays better, obviously. Luka slows down somewhat. I think Dallas will have somebody step up.
Who's your player of the game?
My player of the game is honestly, I know y'all gonna laugh when I say this, but I think it's gonna be Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Like with Jason Kidd trying to throw the shots and you know what I mean? Like I think that him and Jalen both handled the question the right way, but now like to prove a point, I think that Boston is like, yo, we got this in the bag, man. Like, go off.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
Like you know what I mean? Like I mean, like this is the Tatum game. This is the game that people like me have been waiting for Jason Tatum to have. You know what I mean? That happens tonight.
Get in your bag, young fella.
Hell yeah. So yeah, man. This has been the motherfucking cups in the game. You already know we had motherfucking one half of sports reports as ordered. My dog 2-5. Mike Will tapping into the motherfucking hot box. And you already know we had my dog live in studio. Bleed Blue, Nap Nation, what it do
What
for
it
the
do?
shoe. The illegitimate 4-1 Oracle. Jay Lethal, my dog. I'm Styrofoam Ralph, man. You can catch the hot box every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go Celtics. Smoke with us next time.